All right, welcome everyone today to Music and Relaxation, exploring the therapeutic potential. We have the good fortune of having Jake Beck guide us this day again. He is board certified licensed music therapist and the owner of Upbeat Music Therapy, which is located in Vancouver, Washington. So for those of you not familiar, that's like the southern part of Washington before you get to Oregon. Um, and he has an extensive background working with folks in personal homes, in community settings, with dementia and other kinds of changes and shifts in neurocognitive abilities, and really is a beautiful presence with his musical skills. So, Jake, thank you again, as always, for being here, and take it away.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Reggie. Appreciate it. Thank you all for joining me. Presentation today is about music and relaxation. I'm going to be looking at that from a perspective of a music therapist. I like to say at this point that I'm not a neuroscientist, and so a lot of my work ends up being, if not anecdotal, then very experiential with folks. So that's just my little caveat there. Um, Music and relaxation. I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a board certified and licensed music therapist. I had to change my number there. Last year it was 16 years, and now that the year has turned, I've been a music therapist for 17 years. So that was kind of fun. I've worked in a lot of different settings: NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, rehabilitation, physical and mental, with folks across the lifespan with developmental disabilities, dementia care, and currently my clinical work is in hospice and end of life. I also own a music therapy direct service agency called Upbeat Music Therapy. We've been around since 2011, and we have served thousands of people in our area, both in Portland and Vancouver, right here on the river. So that's my business contact information. I do answer emails. The website is there. It's open for business. You can go check it out. Ask me any questions anytime. Give me a call if you ever have any questions about this presentation or anything else about music therapy. Our talk today, I gotta minimize this window here. We're gonna talk for just a little bit about what music therapy is. You'll have to sit through my spiel about that. And then we'll go into what actually is relaxation, music therapy and relaxation, some common interventions that music therapists use to invoke relaxation or to accomplish the goal of relaxation in our clients. And then we're going to do some experiential stuff that you get to join along in. And then questions. And just as a further caveat, I do love questions, actually. So if you ever want to pop something in the chat, Reggie's going to be monitoring that, and she'll raise a hand or yell at me while I'm motoring on. And inject that. So please feel free. One of the only downsides of doing online things for me, even though I can reach so many more people that way in so many different parts of the world, is that I really like to react to what's going on in the groups that I run. So if there's anything you want to say or chime in with, I'm happy to answer those questions. Okay, I'm a music therapist. We almost always start with music. So I have a song choice for you. This is your chance to use the chat function. I got 3 songs for you to choose from. And you get to choose another one later too. But I was just thinking of kind of relaxing songs, and for whatever reason, these ones just popped into my mind. A couple of them are in 3/4 time, kind of lullaby-ish, particularly My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean, but actually Edelweiss as well. And then Gentle on My Mind, which just kind of sounded relaxing to me and is a very gentle song. So does anybody have a preference? First preference wins.
I'm seeing Gentle on My Mind.
Okay,
Double
that
double
sounds good.
votes for that.
Double votes. I think secretly that's the one I wanted to. Okay, I'm not gonna sing the whole thing. We'll sing maybe one verse or two, just because it's such a beautiful song, and kind of long as well. It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. It makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag rolled up and stashed behind your couch. And it's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words and bonds and the ink stains that are dried upon some line that keeps you in the back roads by the rivers of my memory, that keeps you ever gentle on my mind. It's not clinging to the rocks and ivy planted on their columns now that bind me, or something that somebody said because they thought we fit together walking. It's just knowing that the world will not be cursing or forgiving when I walk along some railroad tracks and find that you're moving on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind. That you're moving on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind. Sweet. Pretty relaxing, I gotta say. What a beautiful song. Glenn Campbell, our guy. Our guy. All right, we'll talk about music therapy a little bit here. I'm just going to direct you to the bottom definition for what music therapists do. The top one is according to the American Music Therapy Association. It's a little bit drier, but the one that I give is that music therapists use music, guitar, piano, voice, tonal, atonal instruments, in a therapeutic setting, and that's wherever our clients are located, whether that be home, facility, hospital, ICU, hospice house, wherever that person is. We provide direct service to them in a live setting to work towards appropriate goals, healthcare goals, as determined by the client, family, caregivers, medical professionals, often area aging agencies, and the music therapist. We see a lot of benefits with music therapy as a healthcare profession. Some of them are safe opportunities for relaxation. That was a coincidence that that's at the top there, but as we'll talk about later, there are a lot of different forms of relaxation, and music therapy can definitely help with that. Decreases in symptoms of anxiety and depression. We look for positive mood alterations. We provide emotionally supportive therapies. We try to find meaningful relationships and socialization between either ourselves and the client or their families, friends, and things like that. We try to provide profound familial experiences. We provide cognitively stimulating activities, respite for their caregivers, which is very important with dementia and other maladies. And music therapy is fun and enjoyable activities. That's kind of where it starts, to be honest. We provide care for all ages and diagnoses based on the specialty of the music therapist. I myself, as I said, work in hospice and end of life. I don't pretend that I can work very significantly or very well with like a child with autism, say, but my agency has team members, also board certified music therapists that can. We provide on-site visits to all facility types and homes, as I said. We do have telehealth availability with certain types of clients, such as those with mental health, adults that aren't hard of hearing or have dementia. Notable increases in quality of life, and we try to provide engaging distractions from pain and discomfort. Work in a goal-oriented model, which is that we kind of have our little recycling symbol there. We start with assessment up there at the top, assessing what the goals are, the healthcare goals, and finding our interventions and finding the music that we can use and the ways that we can use it, and that's what the treatment is. And as we go through session by session, week by week, month by month, quarterly, yearly, we evaluate as to whether we are accomplishing the goals with our clients using music. And then it goes right back up to the top there with more assessment, treatment, evaluation. We do our assessment and our treatment based on healthcare domains. These are but some of them. These are kind of umbrella domains of healthcare that we look at. So physical, cognitive, communicative, emotional, social, spiritual, and musical. This is kind of the way to look at a person, the whole person. You know, where are they at in each of those domains? How can therapeutic music help them? How can our relationship with them, with our clients, help them across those domains? You know, somebody might be in physical rehabilitation. They might have broken their arm, or they might have taken a spill and broken their hip, and they might be in a physical rehabilitation setting. So, how can we use music as the music therapist, as adjunct providers? How can we use music to help them with that? A simple example is, when you're doing your physical therapy or occupational therapy, the therapist might be asking you to stretch your arm like this, and that might be boring, and that might be hard to do if you don't have a kind of a stimulant or something like that. And so what we strive to do is maybe say, take this drum here, and ask you to hit the drum. And we can do that rhythmically, which provides a lot of different stimulation and a lot of different support for you to do those exercises. So that's kind of one example, and we have lots of examples across all of the domains there. Our treatment obviously uses music. We use musical instruments, sometimes recorded music, most often live music. That lights up the brain more than recorded music does, and provides us with a little bit more support as we're trying to accomplish our goals. Our interventions are how we're using the music in a music therapy session, which is usually between 30 minutes and 60 minutes. And that's just kind of our fancy little word there for activities. What music activities are we doing in the arc of a session to help our clients accomplish their goals? And then what we're looking for most of all is engagement. So with somebody who is perhaps in a coma or perhaps at the very end of life, we're still looking for ways to engage a person. And that's because music enters our brain and can engage our brain at a precognitive level, meaning that we don't need to think about it in order for us to be affected by it. Think of a person with Parkinson's whose walking gait is funky and is deteriorating. We can use rhythm, particularly in music, to help that person step on a beat, walking across the floor using their walker, using the support of a caregiver, or something like that. And that's because music hits at a precognitive level. In the case of somebody who is not alert or aware, that person can still tap their foot to music, which is something that I've seen experientially many times, which is quite amazing. That could go all the way up to higher executive functioning, writing a song or something, expressing emotion using music. So engagement is what we're looking for no matter what it is that we're doing. Our evaluation is looking for increases and decreases in certain things. This list is a little bit specific to a person with dementia, but for instance, one of our goals might be an increase in reminiscence, happiness, positive affect, peer interactions, appropriate exercise, and my favorite metric is quality of life. Is this person's life being improved in some way with our treatment? And decreases examples include confusion, agitation, symptoms of depression, decrease in isolation, which is still a problem even this far past COVID, decreases in breathing rate if that person is anxious, and decreases in loneliness. We work in two very kind of distinct models. We work with groups of people and we work with individuals. And the difference is the music can be the same, but the goals and the kind of milieu of what we're doing can be a little bit different. So in groups, we're looking for higher peer relationships, this higher socialization. This is oftentimes a more energizing activity, contrary to the title of my presentation today. It's a little bit more energizing to be in a group. These are shared experiences, and reminiscence, again, with a person with dementia. Sharing reminiscence with your peers and with your caregivers and family is very important. And then in an individual session, which is a one-to-one or a one therapist, one client, and their family and their friends or caregivers kind of a situation, the groups is a group of clients, such as in an adult family home or an assisted living facility or something like that. Individuals, we're looking for a more direct therapeutic relationship. We're working with one person in that case. It's a lower socialization environment. Some of us are introverts, some of us are extroverts. I'm an introvert. You can treat me individually if you'd like. Non-stimulating environment or less stimulation. Relaxation is definitely a part of this. Family and friends, reminiscence again, just like with groups, and with hospice and end of life legacy, and talking about how a person's legacy is moving forward throughout time is part of the treatment as well. We're part of the care team in some in some capacity. Sometimes we enjoy a greater relationship with more of a client's care team than in others, but in any case, our vision is that we work interdisciplinary in an interdisciplinary setting with a client, their friends, therapists, physicians, nurses, social workers, case managers, care providers, and their family. Okay, and then I think I meant to put in a slide here since last time about the education that a music therapist receives. I think I had a question about that last time, and it just struck me now. So we do, in order to gain a board certification as a music therapist, we do a bachelor's equivalent college degree, Bachelor of Arts. I had a bachelor's degree, and then I got another one. I had a bachelor's degree in music performance, and then I got a bachelor's equivalent degree in music therapy. So, um, that maybe should have been a master's, but that's okay. I didn't know any better at the time. And then we do a 1,080-hour internship at a music therapy approved internship site. And then we take a board certification exam, and then we get to be board certified throughout the entire country of America. And then based on what state you live in, there might be an additional licensure. So all of this requires that we continue with our continuing education credits. And I think it's a 5-year cycle, so we have to renew our board certification every 5 years. We have to renew our license every year. So it's getting more and more similar in terms of its viability and its presence to, say, like a licensed social worker or a licensed counselor. Okay, that big question mark means questions. I think that's my spiel about music therapy. If anybody has questions about that.
Feel free to
Yeah.
ask any questions. Yeah, come off mute and go for it. Hi, Musang, go ahead.
Hi, how you doing?
Good,
Hey,
nice to
question
see
for
you.
you. So, kind of digging deep into the neural side of things from
Yeah.
your experience, like how do you because obviously the music is to kind of ease your pain and suffering in a sense. Like how
Yes.
do you is there practices of embracing the music that you love listening to? You know what I mean? Like is there a common practice of like, hey, I'm in a zone of listening to this music? Like how do you practice that so like you can really feel it and you get that sensation of like, you know, I just hit euphoria, for
Yeah.
example. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I do know what you
Especially
mean.
with dementia patients, or Parkinson's patients
Yeah.
who neurologically they're not all there. How do you have them like embrace it? Like, what kind of practices do you recommend? Say, hey,
Yeah.
you need
So
to
so
visualize this music or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't
uh-huh.
know. I think you get the
Uh-huh.
gist of the question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great question. And I think we're going to cover a little bit of what you're asking later in the presentation.
Okay.
But kind of practically to answer your question, we want to develop a therapeutic relationship with the person. Find out exactly what music they do like and find out, throughout their lifespan what music hits them the best, what they
Right.
reminisce the best over, or maybe it's a type of music. Some people love classical music, jazz music, things like that. And then we'll play that music in a live setting for them, and then we'll try to instruct their caregivers. We can either record that or we can instruct their caregivers, to help them listen to that music when they can't remember, oh, I really need this. And that can bring down a lot of agitation and, if not confusion, but just that kind of behavioral side of things can definitely be soothed and eased. I will say that the absolute, most kind of euphoria that people have is in the live setting with live music. So the recorded music, even the version that you know from years ago that you fell in love to or what have you, even that one might not quite get you there as much as live music can,
Yeah.
just because your brain is lighting up so much more in that live setting, and the music can be molded and shaped in the moment to to really hit what you're going for.
It's a great answer.
Good.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I think
That's a great
any
question,
of,
Misan. I mean, that's
yeah,
really what you're asking is like what we're really going for. That's a huge goal. That's like a self-actualization, of what music therapy can be.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Musang.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
All right, carry on, Jake.
Okay. Carry on. Oops. Okay. Uh-oh. Why did it go to 31? Shot me to the end. Okay, let's do another song real quick. Somebody want to hear a lullaby? I'm gonna
A
play.
little Edelweiss. We
Yeah,
had a vote for the
I was just
Edelweiss.
thinking. I'm just remembering what my thought pattern was there. It's winter. It's winter. It's relatively cold where we are here in the Pacific Northwest. I know it's really cold. I grew up in Wisconsin, and my family's still there, and they report. I don't know if it's like this for you, Larry. They're reporting like -30 wind chill today and tomorrow. It's like dangerously cold. Yeah, that's where you're at, Larry. Okay. I figured it can only get colder the farther you go. So anyway, Edelweiss. I don't know if anything's growing out there in the winter, but beautiful song. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you'll greet me, small and white, clean and bright. You look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Hey, what a sweet song. What a sweet song. Just one of many off The Sound of Music. Maybe the best musical. Maybe. I'll see. Yeah,
It is.
yeah, it is. We got some nods on
I
that one.
I agree.
You agree? All right. That's fair. Great songs on that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about relaxation and what it is kind of from our perspective. So relaxation, I found a good kind of three-part definition for it. I think that we think of relaxation like just hanging back, maybe on a beach someplace, and we're relaxed and things like that. And that definitely is relaxation, but I'm finding relaxation to be more, in what's the pushing against something else, pushing against anxiety, pushing against non-relaxed states. Okay, and we want to tip those scales between relaxation and non-relaxation. So this three-part definition here starts with relaxation is a state of reduced physiological, that's our body, and psychological, our mind, arousal, characterized by decreased muscle tension, slower breathing and heart rate, and a subjective sense of calm, ease, or restoration. So it's not just a state of mind, and it's not just what you're doing. It's an actual, goal. It reflects a shift from sympathetic nervous system activity and towards parasympathetic nervous system activity. Oh, I put that beach picture right there. That does look relaxing. Okay, and so we'll go into just a little bit about sympathetic versus parasympathetic. So, um, where it says fight or flight over there, that's the state of mind you have when you are overly sympathetic with your nerves. And I know that sounds like you want to be sympathetic in your life emotionally, but you don't want to be sympathetic when in your body and in your brain. Being in a sympathetic state means that your pupils are dilated, you are having trouble salivating, your heartbeat increases, your lungs are not, you're not, your lungs open up, you have trouble breathing, you don't digest, you inhibit the activity of your intestines, you secrete some of the bad neuro, neuro things, and your bladder relaxes, which that can't be good at some point. And parasympathetic is when you're relaxed. That's when your pupils constrict or go down. Your saliva is stimulated, which means that you're able to start digesting. Your heartbeat slows, your lungs, your breathing rate slows. It stimulates the activity of your stomach. It stimulates all of the processes, in your body that keep you going and keep you moving. So if you think of like if you're scared or if something's chasing you, a bear is chasing you, you're going to be sympathetic at that point. That's your fight or flight response. And if you're relaxing on the beach and you got nothing too pressing on your mind, that's your parasympathetic. So when we're relaxed, we're trying to tip the scales towards parasympathetic, away from sympathetic. Oh, I have never had this trouble before. This is crazy. It's like, okay.
Good old
Oh,
online learning. Yeah.
well, yeah, I guess so. I just gotta click at a different place. Okay, and this is the same information that I just gave you. It's just in a little bit simpler thing. So sympathetic on the left there, that's fight or flight. Parasympathetic over there, that's when you're relaxed. Again, heart rate. What music therapists are looking for in other clinicians is really the heart rate and the breathing rate. Those are major indicators that somebody is anxious and that they're in their sympathetic place. And that's one of the tricks that anxiety and even depression play is it keeps you in a sympathetic, nervous situation. It keeps you there even though you definitely don't want to be there. It's very uncomfortable when your breathing rate is too high and your heart rate is too high and your mind is racing and you can't function that way. You can't, it's like a bear is chasing you at all times. Okay, so the third part of the relaxation, and the part that definitely interests me, is that relaxation can be intentionally facilitated through practices such as breathing, mindfulness, music, and movement. And I think that's good news for us that want to relax a little bit more, or those of us that need to relax a little bit more. So I'll tell you a little bit about relaxation and music therapy here. I'm going to start with some of the common interventions or kind of umbrella interventions that we use with people in order to really go for that relaxation, and then I'll give some experientials afterwards. But a lot of some of the things that I've done in my practice is involve people in therapeutic music listening. This is the therapist playing music for the client. This is passive engagement on the part of the client. This is the therapist asking the client to do something. So maybe that's lay down flat and breathe and close your eyes and get into a comfortable position. And this is where live music really, really, really does well because, again, the musician can play with tempo, dynamics, harmonic structure to promote that calm and reduce arousal in the person. We normally use what's called the ISO principle, which is where we try to start with the music, with the tempo, with the dynamics of the music where the person is. Let's say they're anxious. So you start with a little bit louder music or a little bit more aggressive music. You meet them and then slowly bring them down, leveraging those physiological benefits of music to kind of bring down that heart rate and bring down the breathing rate and bring down the psychological torture. Music improvisation is the music therapist playing with the client in an active engagement. And so that's both parties, the therapist and the client, using musical instruments. And that can be that the client is already a musician, they know how to play the piano or they know how to play guitar, and we're kind of jamming. But more often than not, that's the therapist providing a kind of a musical basis or a musical baseline. Slower tempo, simple harmonic progressions, nothing too fancy, no Mahler, things like that. And soft dynamics, which support nervous system regulation. Again, where we are assuming and we know that the music is lighting up that brain. So we can either light it up with like really fast tempo music, or we can light it up with slower, kind of nicer, simpler music. And when we're playing with a client, especially if they're a non-musician, we're giving them instruments that are successful and that don't have a lot of dissonance or anything like that, and we're providing them music and asking them to match us here. Right. And so I'm in the key of C. I can ask a client to play all the white keys on a piano. Just play the white keys, however you want to do that. And so that gives them a chance at success and gives them a chance to play along. And so you can self-regulate your nervous system that way. Really cool music-guided progressive muscle relaxation. I wish I could do this with you all. This can work telehealth, but I think it works so much better in person. And that's the music therapist using verbal cues for tensing and releasing muscle groups. I don't know if any of you have ever done this before, where you start with your big toe or something like that, and you flex your one toe. You just focus on your toe, and you flex it and release it and flex it. And you can do that rhythmically, paired with calming music that the music therapist is playing for you. And then you move on to the rest of your toes, and then flex the top of your foot, stretch your ankle, and then it's just one thing at a time. And it can take 30, 45 minutes to get all the way up to the top of your head, but I'm telling you, it's if you can get there, it's fantastic. It feels so good. I wish I was doing it right now. That's effective for physical tension and somatic awareness. So that's when we attend to other things besides the mess that's going on in our heads sometimes, that can get us out of our heads. So somatic is just body. So the awareness of your body and focusing on things that aren't the anxious things. And then receptive drumming or resonance-based instruments. So you are definitely not going to be able to feel this, but I have here, this is a buffalo drum. Good for a great many things. Anybody can play this. You just hold it here. You can use your hand. You can use a mallet and things like that. We use drums all the time for lots of reasons. But what this is referring to is I can put this drum over your knee or your leg, and you're gonna feel the sound waves. It's gonna hit you. And so this is sensory grounding. And sometimes we'll play music on the person if it's appropriate. Not hitting, not fists or things like that, but you play on the leg, very tapping, or ask them to do that as well. And again, that's a sensory grounding situation. I want to show you one more instrument here. I can't see myself. This is an ocean drum. It's got little ball bearings in it down there at the bottom. And this not only sounds relaxing, I don't know how relaxing it sounds over the microphone here, but in person it sounds really relaxing. It sounds like the ocean. But it's also, as you put your hand underneath you can feel those pellets rolling back and forth over your hand. And so we'll ask clients to hold it with both hands. You can put it on your head, and you feel it. And the point is that that's a sensory grounding kind of situation with a frequency and with a musicality that is not harsh or not dissonant. Something. And my wife actually hates this sound, so you got to watch out for that too. I like it, and so there's going to be people that don't love it. It's that it gets to them. Okay. Did I miss one? No. Okay. Let's go into a little bit of experiential here. We got about 20 minutes left. Um, there's a bunch of different types of relaxation. I'm going to refer again to these domain types that we're looking at when we're looking at our treatment. And one of those is social. That's a domain that is very important for people, and that people have a lot of their goals center around that. So in social relaxation, if you look at it from there, getting people together in a group can ease tension. Again, I said I'm an introvert. I don't like going into groups of people. It makes me uncomfortable. So it's on the music therapist, if you're in a music therapy group or any other type of group, it's on the leader to make it as relaxing as possible, especially as people are first coming in. So we'll do things later in the group, like group singing circles, singing well-known tunes, group music making. We bring tons of instruments, such as the ones that I've been showing you here, and that helps to break the ice and get people to accomplish goals that aren't necessarily relaxing. But one of the things that we do to help relax is to sing an opening song. And there's lots of different ones. You can do a familiar song, such as "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning," or something like that, to break the ice with your group. But we like to personalize it more. So lots of music therapists have a little hello song. I don't think I've played mine in a while. Let's see. Music time, now it's time to say hello. Music time, now it's time to say hello. Okay, so we might teach that song to our group, and if it's a group that we've been with for a while, then they'll know it. But then we go around and we say hello to everybody. So is there somebody that feels like getting said hello to in our group today? Larry and his cats, maybe. All right, let's sing hello to Larry. So I asked the group to sing hello to Larry. Hello, Larry. Hello, Larry. Hello, Larry. It's good to see you today. And your cats? Okay. All right, I see somebody named Lisa. We're going to sing hello to Lisa. And I invite the group, everybody sing and say hello to Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Lisa. It's good to see you today. Okay, and on and on and on. You can do that for a while. We get big groups. 15 to 20 people can be in our groups. But it really does ease the tension. It brings everybody in. And you don't often think about that kind of social anxiety being something that you can relax. But I think it can be very relaxing. Okay, another domain is cognitive relaxation, and this is something that was sort of explained to me very recently, and I really like this. This is something that I've been doing for years and years as a music therapist, but using familiar music for comfort, which is something we do for lots of different goals and lots of different interventions. But I really liked this. The use of familiar, predictable songs associated with safety or positive memories. It provides a predictability that supports relaxation through reduced cognitive demand. And it's particularly effective in dementia care or pediatric settings. I kind of thought reduced cognitive demand was a pretty interesting way of saying, like, I don't have to think too hard about this. This is relaxing because I don't have to learn this new song. Or I don't have to grasp where it is I know this song from. You know that feeling when you hear something on the radio or a snippet, like an earworm or something like that, and you're like, where did that come from? And you can't figure it out, and AI hasn't quite caught up with it yet, or whatever, and you just can't do it. It actually doesn't feel very good. You got to scratch that itch. So I thought reduced cognitive demand music. I'm gonna start using that. So I have down here "You Are My Sunshine" just because I feel like that's the song that almost everybody knows and has a positive association with. If you hate this song, I apologize. are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. In our groups, we definitely ask people to sing along if they want to. We don't make anybody do it. But you'd be surprised how many people tell me, oh, I'm not going to sing. I'm not a singer. And then they hear a song like You Are My Sunshine and they just can't help themselves. It feels good to sing. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Oh, please don't take my sunshine away. Hey, there we go. Very nice. I see some people singing along.
I
You,
have to share that I used to sing that to my kids, but I
yeah.
changed the words to "You will always know, dear, how much I love you."
That's very positive of you, Reggie. You know, there are verses of that song that are very negative.
I know. I think
It's,
they got. I always know that like the hijacked version, and I think that's probably better.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, hijack it. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. People love it. Okay, here's one for you in the physical domain. Speaking of physical relaxation, this is one where you can invoke the response that you want to have. You can actually make yourself relax with this one. So I'm going to walk you through it from a music therapist perspective using music live here. But first, what we need to do is assume the position as much as you can. Larry, I know you're not going to kick your cats off. That's fine. I think a lot of us are sitting up straight, but if you wanted to go ahead and sit up nice and straight and nice and tall, if you have a back on your chair, you know, try and put your lower back right against the back there as much as you're physically able. Don't lean back too far, but just nice and tall. And if you can, my chair has arms on it, which is troublesome. You're supposed to be able to put your arms behind your back and clasp your hands behind your back, which opens up your sternum and it opens up your airwaves. And if you can try and look straight ahead, I'm just going to ask that you breathe in your nose and out your mouth when I do this, okay? And the music part, I got to stop doing that and I got to pick up my guitar. The music part is meant to help with the rhythm of your breathing. So if you want to keep your positions, I'm going to be playing in a certain tempo, and I'll give you verbal cues at that tempo: in 2 3 4, out 2 3 4, and then eventually I'll stop talking, and we're just going to entrain, which means we're going to bring our body's processes into rhythm with an outside source. We're just going to entrain to that. So you just go ahead and listen to instructions. You can close your eyes, you can keep them open, but just focus on your breath and focus on doing it in the rhythm, if you can, that I give you. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In, 2 3 4, out 2 3 4. In, 2 3 4, out 2 3 4. In, 2 3 4, out 2 3 4. In, 3 4, out 2 3 4. In, 2 3 4, out 2 3 4. In, 2 3 4, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Feel nice? Good. That can go on for a while. That was a real truncated version. I apologize. In a live setting with everyone in front of me, I definitely would have, moved the tempo a little bit around there to maybe make it so people weren't huffing and puffing so much. But that's kind of the gist of it. That can be really relaxing. So that's something that you can do at home, especially kind of assuming that position of sitting up straight and opening up your airwaves as much as you can, in through your nose, out through your mouth. The beats per minute you're looking for is about 120 if you wanted to. If you wanted, you can find it. You can find breathing exercises on YouTube by the thousands. There's tons of that stuff on there. So you could explore that for yourself if you'd like. Emotional relaxation. So this goes a little bit towards go a little bit towards the social relaxation that we were talking about earlier. Music therapists will use mood-based song discussion, inviting our clients to choose a song that reflects how they feel or want to feel, and then discuss those emotions or associations. We play the music for them live. They can sing along with it, or again improvise and play instruments along with. So that's kind of again like emotional matching. It's almost like telling yourself to feel a way. If you don't like how you feel at the moment, it's really instructive to describe that feeling and to match a song to it. But then, how do I want to feel? Maybe I want to feel like I'm walking on sunshine or something like that, and discuss the emotions around that. This is where songwriting can come in as well. So if you're feeling anxious and you want to relax, let's address that with a relaxing song. Live music again for relaxation or grounding, as we talked about before, and then providing a range of emotional support. And this is something that I find extremely important. Um, a little bit on the side of trauma-informed therapy, where we're validating people's feelings. We're not going to be telling people, well, you can't feel that. That's the wrong feeling for you to have. You can't help it. There's validation. There's catharsis. Sometimes it gets a little rowdy in our individual sessions. If we're really playing how we feel, we might feel bad. We might feel angry. And smashing a drum is better than smashing somebody's face or the wall or getting yourself in trouble, behaviorally, or saying something that you don't want to. This can kind of coincide with talk therapy as well, and counseling, where there's an actual endorphin rush when you release some of those emotions. So how do we do that safely? And music can definitely do that. Another way to do that is, again, along with the social kind of norms, there is finding people that, not just your therapist, but finding others, friends, families, spouses, children, whatever, who will also validate your emotional support. So in groups, I often like to sing Lean on Me. An intervention that we do quite often in a group that's comfortable with one another, is we'll ask one of the members of the group to play kind of a interesting or attractive instrument. This is just a little xylophone here. I don't know if you can hear it very well. I don't have the right mallet. Right? And so the rest
Can I
of the
ask you a
group,
question real quick?
yeah, go ahead, Miss Song.
Because it just got me thinking about this emotional relaxation type of
Yeah,
music that you listen to. Like it's weird. Like I think it maybe it's just me, but like somehow like certain music, like when you talk about Lean on Me, it's kind of a emotional song.
yeah,
Gets me more pumped up instead of like, like where you're like if you're working out, you're listening to like upbeat music and stuff like that.
yeah,
That doesn't get you as motivated, but when you listen to like emotional music or melancholy music, it
yeah,
actually gets me more pumped up.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not,
I agree with you.
maybe it's because it's emotional. It's
Yeah,
emotional, that's why. I don't know.
it's emotional. Yeah, again, your brain is just lighting up with lots of different neurochemicals and things like that when we
Yeah,
reminisce and when we're emotional, and
maybe
that
that's
can
what it is. Yeah.
that can kind of flood the zone there. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
again why it's the basic reason why. our preferred music is the most motivating for us. You know, music, it doesn't have to be just music we remember, but music that really resonated with us at some point. That, when I'm exercising, if I'm exercising, it's got to be not just the tempo and the beat of the song, but it does have to
Right.
be something that like I know and that I've previously enjoyed because that you're right, it
Yeah,
completely is much more motivating.
exactly.
Thanks for sharing, Musang. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah, indeed. So in this case, we ask one member of the group to kind of be the soloist on this instrument. And this instrument here has no dissonant notes on it. It's a pentatonic scale, which means you can hit it anywhere, and it's just going to sound nice. This one's seen better days. This one's got 10,000 hours under its belt. But the rest of the group will play maybe a shaker or maybe a drum or something like that. Not something that's like kind of a superstar instrument. And we're the soloist backup band, and so we support them and give them that undergirding, that musical undergirding for them to shine if they want. And some people really whack on this thing, and some people play really quiet. But it's about the validation of how they're feeling and how they want to present themselves in the group at that time. So, to your point, Musang, that can be very relaxing. I better sing this one quick. What do we got left? 5 minutes. Oh boy. Let me see what's next. I might be skipping one of these slides here. I do have a spiritual support one. That one's pretty heavy. Um, kind of the ultimate anxiety and the ultimate relaxation is, am I about to pass? And families around that as well. But let's do lean on me here. Maybe we can talk about spiritual relaxation another time. Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call me, you just call me when you need a friend. Hey, lean on me. Classic song about social relaxation. Okay, that's the question card. I'll put this up one more time while we're asking final questions if anybody has any.
I wanted to just share with from the chat to
Yeah.
you, Jake. People are saying they're feeling better than they did when they started the class,
Oh,
and just
good.
acknowledging just that, just the getting reminded of the resource that we have in music, and just
Yes.
the connection here, and yeah, just delightful. So feel free to share, anyone, or ask a question. Lisa say music's been so important to me always, but especially since the TBI, and also for my mom in late stage Alzheimer hospice. Yes, yeah. You're
Yes.
so many places that music shows up as a healing presence.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good on you for using it, utilizing it, Lisa, with yourself and your mom.
Anyone's welcome to make a comment or ask a question. I'm just going to say, Larry says even his cats enjoy the beats. Well, they're well-raised cats there, Larry. Jenny's saying thank you. I was really so appreciative of the depth that you went into on some of these places, like just the comfort and cognitive relaxation that happens when you choose songs that are familiar. It's really just exciting to kind of have description to the way that I know I feel when I put on a song, or
Yeah.
maybe I put on a song because I really need a good cry. So I
Yeah.
pick a song that I know will let me go there.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you, Jake.
Yeah, of course. And it can be even more powerful when somebody puts that on for you or knows that that's your favorite song. And so that's like, wow, you really know me, or what I need right
Yeah.
now.
Hmm. Mm.
Can I share a quick story of that in that vein? Just
Yes,
very quick.
please.
Um, my mother, who's in hospice and at her assisted living residence, they now have a music program because of what my dad got in place for her, which is amazing.
Awesome.
But she responded especially to um, very, very old hymns and that her mother taught her. My mom's about to be 89, and and one time I was visiting, and I was singing to her. She always liked all kinds. She was a music. She was a pianist anyway. Um,
Mm,
and I was singing some jazz to her because I sing jazz.
mm,
And I picked a song, and she wasn't. She'd been nonverbal for a year and a half, and I picked a
mm,
song that I hadn't sung, and I thought, I think you liked this, and I sang it through, and I was going to stop singing because I just thought, okay, we're just going to have quiet time, and she said another song, and
mm.
I had not spoken with her. She had not said anything to me in a year and a half.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Nothing.
Lisa.
Powerful.
Wow.
What a beautiful story, Lisa.
And I mean, I can
Yeah.
barely get the story out, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just, I can't. And so thank you for what you do. for,
Oh, it's well, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, what you're describing is really, um, it's so powerful, and it's actually quite common. It's something that a lot of people share is that there's there's there are like neurological reasons for that are kind of boring to explain, but music really does stay relevant in a person's brain when almost everything else falls away. It's like literally the last thing to go.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lisa, that is
Thank
a
you for
beautiful
sharing.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really
thank you for
lovely.
Yeah,
sharing
it
that.
really is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful example of the power of music and the importance of supporting music for all communities, for for all sorts of healing and celebration.
Yeah. What song were you singing, Lisa? Do you remember?
Um, you are. It's a jazz song.
Okay. Cool.
You are the promised kiss of springtime,
Oh,
makes
standard.
the lonely winter feel long.
Oh, perfect for right now.
Nice.
Look it up, Lisa.
Yeah,
That's
that's great.
awesome.
Yeah. Neat, neat.
Well, thank you all for being here and for participating and providing yourself too with a reminder or sorry, I'm all echoey. I apologize for the reminder of what we have access to, access to music. I just want to encourage everyone in the way that you access your music and go find your favorite song or make a playlist or get some help making a playlist and pull out some instruments. And if you're interested, Jake will be returning next month to do another sing along for those of you who joined in December. We're going to do a little sing along with some love songs in honor of it being February. So I think that's going to be really fun. And it's just a credit to Jake and his creativity and willingness to really support this community and to really share his skills with us. So thank you so much for today, Jake. I am really appreciative of you. Thank you all.
Likewise. My pleasure. Thank you for all the questions and the stories. It's lovely.
Thank you,
Be
sir.
well. Happy
Thank you
music
very much,
listening.
Jake.
Thanks. You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome. Have a great day.
Bye.